When the Liberals brought in their tax increases on farmers, plumbers, and pizza shop owners, they made sure that the millionaire finance minister and prime minister were excluded from many new taxes. Their income tax increases actually only applied to the middle class, which is paying $800 more per family, while the wealthiest 1% has paid $4 billion less. And now their carbon tax will hit single mothers and seniors, but 90% of the exemption of the emissions of the large industrial polluters are exempt altogether. Why do they always tax most those with the least?
Honourable Minister of Environment.
Mr. Speaker, Canadians from across the country are seeing the impacts of climate change, whether it's forest fires or floods or extreme heat, or in the Arctic, which is quite literally melting. We have a plan to tackle climate change, to do our part, and also to grow the economy. We're taking measures which include phasing out coal, net zero building standards, investments in renewables, investments in clean technology companies, and yes, putting a price on pollution. There is a cost to pollution, but we have always said that we will give money back, more money in the pockets of the people who live in a province.
The honourable member for Carleton.
Well, there is going to be no cost for pollution if you're a large industrial polluter. In fact, let me quote a strong supporter of this government, the Toronto Star, which said, and I quote, "Ottawa downplays carbon price plan that gives more tax relief to heavy polluters." In other words, large industrial polluters get off scot-free, while the average Canadian household has to pay more. Why is it that those with lobbyists always get breaks, while those working Canadians who carry this country on their shoulders always bear the heaviest burden?
Minister of Environment.
Speaker, I can't tell you how much it warms my heart to hear the member opposite talk about how there should be a price on pollution. I'm surprised, though, because the member opposite didn't vote in support of there being a price on pollution. Yes, we have said that big polluters have to pay, and we will give more money in the hands of Canadians. We know we need to take action on climate change. We have a climate plan, but the big question is, what is the Conservatives' plan to protect the environment and grow the economy?
The member for Carleton.
Once again, the minister failed to answer the question. Her government has released a document showing that there will be up to a 90% exemption for large industrial polluters from the carbon tax. So those that pollute the most will get the lowest cost on their tax bills, while single mothers and seniors who have no choice but to heat their homes and drive to work will pay tax on 100% of their emissions. Why?
The Minister of Environment.
Mr. Speaker, I think the question is, will the party opposite release a plan with a price on pollution? We have a plan. Our plan is working. It's growing the economy. We've created more than 600,000 jobs with Canadians.
Order. We heard the question. We need to hear the answer as well. Whether members like the answer or not, it has to be heard. The honourable member for Calgary Signal Hill will come to order. Order. Honourable Minister of Environment has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Canadians expect us to have a plan to protect the environment, to tackle climate change, to grow the economy. We have that plan. We've been able to create more than 600,000 jobs with Canadians. We've got the fastest growing economy in the G7. We have the historic low rates of unemployment. And guess what? Our emissions are going down, and we're doing this with Canadians. But what is...
The honourable member for Carleton.
What is going down is the burden on the large industrial polluters. They are getting off because they can afford powerful lobbyists that influence this government. Now, people living below the poverty line, single mothers, seniors on a fixed income, they cannot afford to send powerful lobbyists and consultants to Ottawa. They can't afford to donate to Liberal coffers. But, Mr. Speaker, they have important costs that they have to make. Why is this government giving an exemption to the politically well-connected and putting the burden on working-class Canadians?
Minister of Environment.
Mr. Speaker, forgive me if I'm confused, because this is the party that doesn't support a price on pollution. This is the party that voted against raising the Canada Child Benefit that has raised 300,000 children out of poverty. This is the party that voted against a middle-class tax cut and an increase on the 1%. This is the party that doesn't have a climate plan. This is the party that doesn't understand that there is a real cost right now to the environment. We are paying it right now for the inaction of the previous government for a decade, and we are also growing the economy.
Honourable member for